Hi everyone, thank you all for coming back to another episode. Today we are going to be talking about how to let go of the past, how to just forgive yourself of your past mistakes, how to learn from those mistakes, and then how to just let it go, how to forgive yourself, and how to let go of that burden, that guilt of what you could have done to make things right the first time. So, I've been personally thinking a lot about my past lately, and just like I get in that mindset of, man, if I had only known then what I knew now, or what I know now, would I go back and redo my wrongs? And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, sometimes my answer is like, yeah, I really wish I can go back in the past and stop myself from meeting a certain person, or stop myself from doing a certain action, or, stop myself from going to the wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. I don't know. But here lately, this has just been weighing heavy on my heart, my past. And from a Christian perspective, I always have to keep reminding myself, if God can forgive me and He can forgive my past mistakes, my burdens, my stress, my worries, if He can forgive me and forget about those, then I need to learn how to forgive myself and forget as well. Because He is so much more powerful than any person at all. And if He is able to lay His Son down to die for our sins and forgive us and wipe them clean, like, why are we not able to forgive ourselves? So I saw this little quote on Pinterest, and it says, "Let the past go and only hold the lessons learned." And, I keep getting in my mind about a certain thing I did in my past, and it still lingers to this day. And, just like those shower thoughts come on, whenever you're by yourself and things get a little too quiet and you just go into that place with your thoughts. We're all guilty of it. We all have our times and our moments when we do that. For me, I've been going to a certain time in my previous life where I'm just like, man, I really just wish I didn't meet this certain person, because they still linger to my current life. And it's just something that, like, if I had just followed my gut and cut them out of my life sooner, rather than getting caught up and intertwined with them, I wouldn't be connected to them to this day. I always go back to that memory, and I'm always just beating myself up about it. And I'm always like, I hate it because I'm married now and my partner has to linger onto that with me. And I feel so much guilt, and I feel so much burden weighing down heavy on me. And it gets into my head where I'm just like, you know what? If I could just go back in time and just never cross paths with this person, I would do it time and time and time again. But then I remember what lessons learned that I would have never obtained. I wouldn't have learned how to truly look at people without giving them the upper hand, because I'm so guilty of being someone that I want to see the good in every human being possible. And to be honest, as great as that sounds, it can also be a huge flaw, because not everyone is rooting for you. Not everyone is looking out for you like you may be looking out for them. And so for me, I learned that I can't just blindly meet somebody and just assume the greatest of them. I have to truly give them a chance to show me their true colors, and not just assume, like, oh, this person is going to be in my life forever. This person is going to be my new best friend. This person is going to be my soulmate. This person is going to be my children's grand or godparent. I don't know, but I just keep looking back at my past, and I'm just like, you know what? But if I didn't experience this, I would have learned nothing. I wouldn't have learned how I have to, I have to really be very, very particular with who I trust. And I have to, I have to know that I can't just do handouts for people, because those handouts may never be thanked, or they not even handouts, but like favors, and they're broken promises of, oh, I'll pay you back, I promise, and then you don't ever receive that payback. whether it's money or a favor being owed. I'm not personally the type of person that's like, oh, I do something for someone and I expect them to pay me back, or I expect them to do a favor for me in return. But in this sense, this certain person, they don't deserve anything that I've done for them, to be quite honest. And it has just been, it's just been hell, to be quite frank. It's been hell to get them to cooperate and do things accordingly, so that way we can be untied from one another. And so that's my past that I hold on to, that I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I could go back in time. But then I keep thinking back, I would have learned nothing. And I wouldn't have been able to carry it over to new people that I've met to today. And so whatever that past may be for you, just know, like, there's always a reason for it. God is never going to put you through something that you cannot come out of. He's never going to put you through a storm that you cannot handle. And I feel like that reigns so true. And we're all living, breathing proof of it. We've all dealt with our own storms, and we have all dealt with our own issues that we just feel like, God, why are you putting me through this? Like, why me? Have I not done good for others? Have I not done the right thing? Why am I deserving this? But it's all for a reason. It's all challenges. It's all for learning. It's all so that way we can grow. If you're not growing from your past mistakes, and if you're not taking lessons from them, then what really are you doing? You're just dwelling on them. You're never going to actually turn to look at the positivity of that rainfall. You're never going to be able to move forward if you're always dwelling on the past. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, because I know I just admitted to having my days where I'm just like, gosh, there's so many times where I just regret doing this and I wish I hadn't done that. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be so thankful for what you've been put through, because it turns you into the person you are today. It helps you grow into a better version of yourself. And without past mistakes, I mean, gosh, would we ever evolve? I don't know. I really doubt it. If you were a perfect human being, which is not possible, what would that even look like for you? Really and truly. There's another quote I found on Pinterest, and it says, never look back except to see how far you have come. Keep your focus on the present and the future, and let go of anything that no longer serves your life. Another one that I found says, the most beautiful thing we can learn is how to let go of grudges, the past, poisonous people. It's a great measure of courage. And it's true. It's so true, because if you just hold on to grudges, you are allowing that darkness to take over. If you are just holding on to the past, you're never allowing yourself to step forward into your future. If you're holding on to poisonous people, you are literally never allowing yourself to come across the good ones in life. There are so many people I know that continuously choose to hold on to poisonous people rather than value the great people in their life. They would prefer to be treated a certain way rather than realizing that they are worthy enough to be treated great by the good people in their life. And it's so heartbreaking, but it's not something that you can open their eyes to see. It's something that they have to do for themselves. So, I mean, you just always, always, always have to look forward. It's easier said than done. We all suffer with it. But if you always beat up your past and you beat up yourself, it's not going to get you anywhere. You're going to end up growing to be hateful. You're going to grow up to be resentful. You are going to grow to be a very negative person, and you're going to have a very sour outlook on life, all because of not letting go. And I like to think of myself as someone who's optimistic. Even though I've been through what feels like hell and back, I know other people have it worse, and that's what I always tell myself at the end of the day. I'm like, yes, this was a very hard part of my story, and it sucks, and I don't know why it had to be this way, but you know what? I know it's for a reason, and I know my God would never give me anything I can't handle, and I know for a fact there are people out there that have it way worse. And so I always thank God for the storm he put me through, because it could have been so much worse. It could have been something that, I don't know, something that I just feel like maybe I could have never come back from. But at the end of the day, when I look back at this, I always think, man, I feel like this is something I could have never came back from, but here I am. I will continue to do so. There are going to be days where I look back and I'm just like, gosh, why did I do that? But I can't beat myself up about it, and neither can you. You can't go back and change the past. We can't we can't take a magic time machine and rewrite our fate. We don't know what that past decision is going to result to, which also leads to, you can't be fearful of your future choices. You just can't. You have to have a better outlook at it, a more strategic outlook at it. You have to be more aware of your actions, your decisions, your choices on anything, really. You just have to go into it a little bit more, I don't want to say careful, because you shouldn't be living your life in fear, but you do have to go into it a little bit more careful than what you would have previously done so, to get yourself stuck in that past mistake or regret. And moral of this episode is really just, give it to God. Give it to God, because He's never going to give you anything you cannot handle. Truly. Ever. And if you feel like He has, I promise you, once you just talk to Him and just ask Him, just say, like, why did you put me through that? What was the reason for this? Because there have been so many times where I have been put through stuff and I'm just like, God, I didn't deserve that. What have I done? And I have actually gotten into arguments with God where I'm like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Have I upsetted you and I get upset, or I would get upset. But now I talk to God about it and I'm just like, you know what? No, I understand. I see why you put me through that storm. And I'm so thankful you put me through that storm. It has made me a better person. I have grown to be a more mature person. I have grown to have, my trust reserved. And quite frankly, I haven't become a rude person, but I have known when to cut ties where they need to be cut. And if people can't understand why you have to do that, then they're not the people you need to be surrounding yourself with anyways. So, with all of that being said, I kind of just want to leave off on a good note. And that's by reminding yourself that letting go is the greatest act of self-love. It's the opportunity we give to ourselves for better things to come into our life. It's a gesture that involves courage, and it's a process that allows us to release our extra emotional burden so we can move through life more freely. I hope that this episode touched y'all the way that it touched me, just because we all have been there, done that, and I think it's important that we continue to encourage each other that it is okay to have days where you just look back and regret it all, but you have to keep moving forward. And I hope that's something that y'all continue to do. And I love you all. And thank you so much for listening to this episode. And I hope that if you enjoyed it, you will like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with somebody who you know is personally going through this and maybe needs to hear words of encouragement. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.